Hello, my name is Malik Abbas Dabu. Welcome to UPfront. On UPfront, we assemble the brightest minds to answer the most difficult questions. Last week, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was in the United States. His mission to visit the Silicon Valley. Why is he doing this? The Vice President has been leading a government agenda to digitize the economy. Is this possible? What does digitization mean? What will it take? Do we have what it takes? Do we have the resources? Do we have the people, the technical know-how? Who else to answer these questions than the man who has helped in pioneering fiber optics, that which revolutionized the way we live? When we come back from this break, I will introduce him and we will settle for this discussion. Keep watching. My name is Malik Abbas Dabu. My guest is the only Dr. Thomas Mensah. Doc, you're welcome to UPfront.
Thank you, Malik.
And Dr. Thomas Mensah is one of the pioneering people who brought about the fiber optics. That is why we have the internet. That controls how the world is run today. Doc, it's an honor to have you.
It's a pleasure.
I watched a couple of interviews, including one on the same platform, where you said that you wanted to initiate what you call speed rails.
Yeah, the high-speed rail.
And you argued forcefully that it is possible.
Yes.
This was in November last year, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
It's been 5 months since then.
Yes.
5-6 months since then.
Yes.
Where are we on that?
We've made a lot of progress, Malik.
Have we?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, because right now, Joe Gatti, the Minister of Railways, has his team with full hands on the deck, moving forward with a high-speed rail project. Now, I want Ghana to do what is called phase 1 of this project. And that is very, very easy. Phase 1 is similar to what Kenya has done. Basically, that phase 1 will involve high-speed trains in Ghana that will run on diesel, not on electricity. Okay. This means that it wouldn't impact the electricity in the country at all, because the entire train is run on diesel. And this is easy to do. It's going to cost us probably around $3 billion, and we can do it, because for the first time, just like the Kenyans go from Mombasa to the airport, we're going to go from the Tema port through Chebi, Tema, Accra, Chebi, and Kumasi. And all the way, phase 2 will take us all the way to Tamale or Paga. So this means that we can have 7 stations. The first station at Tema port, a station at the Accra, and then the Chebi station. The next one is Kumasi, Bonkra, and then to Tamale. This means you can get to Tamale. If we do phase 1 and phase 2, you can get there in maximum 2 hours instead of the 10 hours it takes us now.
I have watched YouTube videos of the Kenyan system.
Yes.
And I have read comments that say, well, it's not really the best, but it is better. Are we contemplating a substandard train system?
Not at all.
This is Africa?
Not at all. Not at all. What I've, I'm on the high-speed rail board in America. I'm one of the authorities in this field. I've looked the entire gamut of high-speed rail development. First of all, I've ruled out Hyperloop, which Elon Musk is proposing. I've ruled out maglev. Maglev is a train that lifts from the rail about an inch and then propel using magnetic levitation. Those are expensive, difficult to operate, difficult to maintain, and therefore we are looking to steel. And even to steel, I'm pushing not for the higher speed, which is in Japan, 300 miles an hour. No, I'm pushing for something in the middle, maybe 150 kilometers an hour.
Which is still fast enough.
Yes, it's fast enough. Because 180 or 150 kilometers an hour with passengers and probably 100 and 120 kilometers an hour with freight. So we have both worlds. We have freight and we have passengers. So our neighbors in the north would have their freight from the Tema port. We still make money off that, and we still carry passengers. And Ghanaians will be very, very happy. Such as just like
and
the
talking
Kenyans
about neighbors, you're talking about Burkina Faso.
Yes. That means getting the containers there means all the countries, the landlord countries, they rely on everything from here. So they'll help us pay for it. That's very, very important. And so that's why we'll be able to get containers there. Maybe instead of 3 days or 5 days, maybe less than that.
This is a country that has monumental problems in terms of healthcare delivery, in terms of education.
Yes.
Why should anyone invest $3 billion in speed rail?
Well, I thought we've already discussed that all before. Investing in the high-speed rail basically will transform Ghana from an underdeveloped country to a developed country. It will transform Ghana not just by having a transformational infrastructure, which is impeding growth in Ghana. Nobody is investing in Ghana because you don't have this infrastructure. Once you put it in, you see all the investment from around the world flow in here, just like they are doing over there in Morocco. Guess what? Morocco put in high-speed rail. They got 3 car manufacturers located in Morocco. You know, when the senior minister went to Morocco, he saw that. And not only that, they are manufacturing cars and they are assembling airplanes for Bombardier. Can we imagine bringing all those jobs here? That would change Ghana forever.
The natural question is, today, even shops, supermarkets are managed by foreigners. Menial jobs are done by foreigners. Things such as plumbing, tiling, roofing, these are done by Togolese and other foreigners. Is the Ghanaian educated enough? Does the Ghanaian have the capacity to take advantage of those jobs that you talk about?
Well, exactly, because I'm involved. I want to make sure that the skills go to Ghanaians. Well, Ghanaians will be working side by side with the Chinese, just like they do in Kenya. I'm not going to bring in people from outside Ghana. I'll have Ghanaians. They will be paid high wages to do their work. They will have skills to do this thing. We've been graduating engineers from Kwame Nkrumah University, from Legon. We have engineers. We have computer science people. All the signaling on the rail used to be done by these people. We have the skills right now. The only thing we need now is to bring such technologies transfer here. So you have the Kenyan engineers working with Ghanaian engineers and Ghanaian workers, and you'll be shocked. We may create all the job deficit. That's our problem. You know, already, Nana has proposed Ghana Beyond Aid. The first step to Ghana Beyond Aid is this infrastructure deficit that we are trying to solve. When you have high-speed rail here, Ghana is moving in the direction of Ghana Beyond Aid.
You spoke about, in the earlier interview on this show, you spoke about, and elsewhere, you spoke about the aircraft maintenance center in Kumasi.
Yes.
Why Kumasi?
Well, we put it there for technical reasons. One, this $500 million facility would make sure that the center of the country, which is Kumasi, will make sure that there's an aircraft maintenance facility there, and all the aircraft in West Africa, 15 nations, they will fly over there to the center of the country and make sure that they are repaired, fixed, refueled, and then fly off from there. This is very important. Right now, we got to fly to South Africa to get maintenance. We have to fly to Ethiopia to have maintenance. We have to fly to Amsterdam. We want to stop that. We want to make sure that this maintenance facility is located in Ghana, creating more jobs, just like the train would do, more employment for the entire country, because that also brings in technology, because Boeing will be training Ghanaians to have certificates in maintaining this aircraft. Right now, aviation safety is very, very important. We just saw a few days ago when one of the airlines in America, you saw what happened. You know, the engines blew off. Maintenance of engines is very critical, and we're going to have it here. We put it in the center of the country for two reasons. One, when you put it close to the water, the beach, the salt water will corrode the engines. So you put all these hours, maintain it, you come back, it's corroded. And just go to any of the hotels here. Even the locks are being corroded by the seawater. So you can't have a big engine corroded just by the sea breeze.
Amazing. And talking about safety and
Yes.
the importance of safety,
Yes.
one of the fundamental problems plaguing this country are
Yes.
accidents.
Yes.
With speed rail, what are the safety measures? What are the assurances in terms of safety?
Well, one of my involved as an expert in this field, I've looked at all the safety records. Japan has been running their trains at 200 miles an hour, not a single accident in 45 years.
45 years.
Yes, not a single accident. So that's
but that is Japan.
That's Japan.
This is Ghana.
Yeah, that's Japan. And guess what? We are using the same technology. As I'm involved in this thing, I'll have hands-on involvement in it. We're going to use, for the safety of these trains, we're going to use fiber optics that can sensors on the rail that can predict when bolts are coming off. You know, in the fish plate of the rail, oh, the bolt on that rail steel over there, that bolt is coming off, tell the driver slow down. Especially when you're going around a curve, you are exiting or coming out on a curve. We run at 20 miles an hour here, and then the train is going off the rails. The new rail we are doing, you won't have that, because we're able to predict places where they are. We would have a large control center so that my friend Joe Gary can sit down and say, oh, the train over there in Paga, this is what's happening. The train over there in Takoradi, this is where it is. This is the speed. And he'll be able to see that in this control room with screens from top to bottom. So our trains will be the first safest in West Africa.
Doc, forgive me if this comes off as pessimism, but we have seen many celebrated Ghanaians who have done great things abroad.
Yes.
And they come home with a lot of fire, the kind of fire that is burning
Yes.
in you to see change.
Yes.
And before long, they are burnt out because in Ghana, traditionally, things don't move fast enough. What is going to be different with you?
This is different because this time you have an alignment. You have a president that's very serious about infrastructure development. You have a president that says, Ghana beyond aid. That is his mantra. In his 7-year development plan, he mentions infrastructure. He mentions creating jobs. He is serious. And luckily, at least the Minister of Railway is doing a great job now, working, listening to advice, working hard to make sure that the transportation infrastructure, which is the first leg, if you are climbing a ladder, the first rung of that ladder is this infrastructure. He's working here so we can get on that leg and move towards Ghana beyond aid.
Is being serious all that is required?
There's a lot of work. I've been working very hard since I pushed all this. Is working very hard, making sure that the right thing is done, bringing the right people to do the work. That's what it's going to take.
In tangible terms, what has been done?
In tangible terms, I can tell you right now they've done a great job. For example, they've been able to down select the people, down select the EPC contractors. They've down select, they have the RFQ out. That's the fastest I've seen.
That's a lot of technical jargon.
On any serious project in Ghana.
That's a lot of technical jargon. Can you break it down for me? What has been achieved so far with your involvement?
They had 45 proposals. They've down selected it to the top 10 or less than that. And these guys have been given the RFQ, and everybody's working hard to meet that deadline. They are serious.
When is the deadline?
Well, the deadline is May 9th.
To do what precisely?
Have that ready so they can make the selection. And this is serious because, look, finally, you know, preparing the request for proposals or RFQ, request for quote, and I'm trying to explain this thing. It's not an easy job. And selecting the good candidates, because we want to make sure that you have groups that will bring investors, because we don't want to use Ghana's money. That will bring investors to come and do this work. Investors, you know, most of the $3 billion is coming from China or from somewhere else. So the money is there, the capability is there, the EPC people have done it before. So these guys are moving in the right direction right now. I can't complain so far at all.
Is that not where the problem is, that the money is coming from China?
Yes.
We were in this country when the previous government went into some agreement with the Chinese, the China Development Bank loan of $3 billion. There was a lot of euphoria, there was hope, there was anticipation. Civil society organizations warned the government that the Chinese don't give money just like that. The government didn't appear to listen. The government was optimistic that the money would come. In the end, it didn't come. So all the projects, the lofty ideas that the government had to execute with this money, all of that went down the drain.
This is different.
What is different this time?
This is different because the projects you were talking about, we didn't have an example what has been done before. Okay, and as I'll show you, you would see the Kenya train. They've done it. They just opened the train in last June. You see it in a few minutes. You know, it means you have to bring people who have done it before. And remember, Kenyans, they look like us. So I don't buy this idea that, oh, Ghana cannot do it.
As you can see, that's a Kenyan
we are more
train.
Intelligent.
That's a Kenyan train system that Doc is talking about on your screen.
Yeah. So basically, as you see on this screen, you're going to find out that the Kenyans, even the driver of the train, is a black woman from Kenya. Or Babesia no high-speed train.
Amazing.
Just like any of the women I see here. They can be driving the train. And they were able to do it in a short time, 3 years. Look at all the people. These are all Kenyans. They're all being put to work. Can you imagine we get on board and have Ghanaians working like this? Everybody. You know, I believe with this project, you can create 500,000 to 1 million jobs. That's what Ghana needs now. You know, we are all, even this is the technical part. The signaling part that I talked about, you have the engineers, you have, look at what they are doing. Kenyans, you know, setting up the wine. What are we doing? This is it. We got to do it. We don't have time. We got to do it. I think that's one of the ladies that will be driving the train.
Okay, so this is one of them.
Yeah. See her? Obabesia and her high-speed train will Kenya.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is possible in Ghana?
It's possible.
How did the Kenyans raise the funding?
Yeah, same way. Same I'm proposing. From the Chinese. Same way. Same way. And it's diesel. So nobody can say, Doc, what about Doomsaw? Forget it. This is diesel. It doesn't run on electricity. And look at the Kenyans. They are being trained to do this. And they are not more intelligent than us.
Okay, so that's the real tracks.
Yes, and they are laying the tracks. And I'm saying the fish plate there with the bolts on it, we can monitor that fish plate with fiber optics and tell when there's a problem on the rail.
Amazing. Doc, you have, as a corollary to this, a determination to see as a Ghana version of the Silicon Valley.
Yes.
How are we doing with that?
Well, I've established what is called Silicon Valley of Ghana.
Okay.
Right now. So if you Google SiliconValleyGH.com, that's the Silicon Valley of Ghana. My goal is to set up these Silicon Valley in probably a few countries in Africa. You know, I'm doing one in Ghana, I'm doing one in South Africa. Because David Makura, the premier, invited me. You know, I thought I was going to speak to just for only 2 days in a conference. He kept me for a week in South Africa. Said, Dr. Mensah, I want you to go to all the innovation centers in South Africa, spend time with them, and create a Silicon Valley for me. That's what I'm doing. I'll do it there. I've started here. I'll do it here, and this will bring us the kind of things we'll be doing in Silicon Valley.
Beyond a website,
Yeah.
silicongh.com.
Yes.
What is there? What will it take to get it where it should get to?
Well, two things, and I'll show you one of the things I'm putting in there on that next video. Okay. Silicon Valley, United States. If you have the right project, the money chases you. Okay. Silicon Valley looks for you. If you have what is called disruptive technology, if you have what's called a killer app, like I have, they'll be chasing you. And what I'm showing you, that is the smartwatch. See that lady wearing the watch? He's commanding the ball. You are the first to see it. Tell the ball, move to the left, move to the right, just because she is wearing that watch, that smartwatch. If you move your hand in front of the television, it changes the channel on the TV. This is a killer app, and you are the first to see it. And this is serious.
Who developed that?
I am one of the co-inventors. If you want to take a selfie, you sit there, you do this, he takes a selfie. If you raise up your hand, the lights brightens. If you bring it down, the lights dim. You know?
Wow.
Yes. That innovation is the one that attracts Silicon Valley money. And I'm putting it in Silicon Valley of Ghana. I'm one of co-inventors. All the 10 intellectual properties, I hold it with one of my colleagues.
Do we have Ghanaians trained in Ghana who have demonstrated to you the capacity to be ingenious and to be creative and to be able to contribute to making Silicon GH what it should be?
Yes, we have it. You know, when I
what
started,
have you seen that makes you so confident?
I went to tech. I was at
and that's
tech
the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
I was there for a whole week. I saw the engineers there. With a little tweaking, they can be as good as any engineers from anywhere. I've been to Legon, see what is happening there. Their computer science department, they can be as good as any place. I went to Cape Coast University where I gave a lecture in the electro-optics lab. They can be very good. So at least all these three universities, and we also adding Tamale.
And I sense something, Doc, forgive my interruption.
Sure.
With the KNUST, you said with a little tweaking.
Yeah.
With KVAS, you say they can be, which means they are not. So all of these institutions...
Let me tell you what, when I was there, okay, this is what I told them. I said, you have very, very capable researchers here. All I'm doing is just shifting the emphasis on research to what I feel is practical for Ghana. And they were very receptive, you know. So all they need is an expert that comes in and says, hey, by the way, let's set up a telecom lab here. MTN would then come, all right, and put money in your research lab. That's just an example. Tech, the same thing. All they need, you know, with people with expertise like me coming in and just, you know, it's not, you don't go to start training them from the, no, they have the basics already. They have that. They just point them in the right direction. You know, for example, when we are doing the trains, all these universities will be involved in the train program, you know. And so what they are going to learn from the Chinese in terms of the train technology, that can diffuse throughout the country. So we are ready. Ghana is ready.
Doc, from where you sit and what you know, is it possible to tell that by this date, Ghana should have its first coaches running? Because I asked that question recognizing that you said by 2021, in your earlier interview, Ghana should be able. Do you still stand by that date?
Yes, I stand by that date. I stand by that date. The diesel one. Not the, you know, if we have more electricity later in a 7-year plan and they want electric train, fine. But the diesel one, we should have it by 2020.
Can we convert the diesel ones into, or we have to change them entirely?
Oh, it's only the engine. We can swap that first engine with electricity. That's it. That will be done only when we have excess electricity capacity. But right now, let's go with the diesel. And that's it.
I had an interview a couple of, I think last year.
Yes.
With Dr. Ashite Trebiolenu.
Yeah, I know him.
Great. And he, just like yourself,
Yeah.
lives in the United
Yeah,
States,
yeah.
done great thing. He's a robotic engineer
yes,
with
yes.
NASA.
Yes.
And he was concerned about the deep religiosity of the Ghanaian and worried that the Ghanaian does not place emphasis, and the Ghanaian at home, large numbers of Ghanaians do not place emphasis on science, they place emphasis on religion. Do you share his concern, and how will that affect the vision you have?
Well, I know Oleni, I know him very well. I brought him to be on stage with me in the U.S., Howard University, teaching kids on robotics. I know him very, very well. Okay, he views that religion, I have to say that religion is not against science. I would say that. I believe in God. Okay, you can get to where I am.
He says so too.
Yeah, you can get to where I am without believing in God, having faith in God. All right. He may be concerned that instead of people spending time in schools and universities and actually doing the work, they are spending more time in church. That's what may be his concern. But my approach is that when you do something and demonstrate to Ghanaians that, wait a minute, we are creating jobs for you. You saw one time when they wanted 500 positions and 15,000 showed up. You give them jobs. When they get that jobs, they will balance things out because they got to show up to work. They are not going to, they've got to show up Monday through Saturday working if they want to be paid. They're going to show up, and we will insist that they show up.
So for you, we have the attitude to be able to do the things that you are envisioning.
Exactly. We can do it. Because as I said, Dada says Ghana beyond aid. And to get beyond aid, these are the important projects, the ones that I've started. They are very, very important. We do that, we will need no aid.
Now, going beyond the speed rail and the Silicon Valley,
yes,
we know the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, was in the United States only last week.
Yeah.
And he has been championing what he calls digitization of the economy.
Yeah.
So they launched the digital addressing system, digital application for passports and registration of company and all of that. Yeah. Are these substantial enough to change the economy the way you want it?
They by themselves wouldn't get there. But you need them. You got to digitize the economy. So they've actually made the first step towards digitization.
Is that first step the way it should be?
Yeah, so far, yes. But digitization goes beyond those four elements. To me, in my world, digitization includes what is called artificial intelligence, AI.
What does that mean?
You see the cars that drive by themselves?
Yes.
No driver?
One of them just got an accident. And that raises
in the US.
Yes, that raises questions about the safety of
that's true. Because you need
cars.
more. They need to work on it more. They need to work on it more. Whether it's my friend Elon Musk or the Uber guys, we need to work more on that. But artificial intelligence is what is driving those cars. And it's not only cars or trucks. You're going to have a FedEx truck or UPS truck being driven by, without a person. But they had to bring it to a spot. The car parks itself, and the human being gets in it and drive it into the cities. See, they got to do a few things in between to really let us get there. Because there's something called Industrial Revolution 4.0. And that is based on all these AI, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, which you're going to have all these in your cell phones and everything. So we've got to be part of it. What the Vice President has started, that's very good. It's the first step. But we're going to go beyond that, because that's what digitization means. Where digitization will get even into your factories, you get into logistics, all the way. This is just the first step.
Again, in Ghana, we have the tendency to start things and speak very well about them, and in the end, nothing will happen. And I give an example. We said we were going to register all Ghanaians and give them an ID card. This started way back in 2007. 11 years down the line, that has not happened. Meanwhile, we bought equipment. We said we're going to do biometric registration. It didn't happen.
Well, I haven't had much time to get into all those areas. I'm doing the biggest heavy lift first. You know, when you put the high-speed train here, you're going to have more people trained to take care of all these things you're talking about. You're going to have people that are trained. I mean, when you get good money from the industries that will come with high-speed train, you're making good money. You can sit down and even create your own business. Start your own business. You take the money, set aside, you know, and you can be doing, so privatization and startups and innovation is all to come with this. But if we don't do these things, 5 years will be exactly where we are.
Doc, you have to hold that thought for me. We have to take a short break. When we come back, I'll be asking Doc whether government's agenda for digitization holistically is feasible. You are watching Upfront. We will be back. Welcome back. You are watching Upfront. My name is Malik Abbas. My guest is Dr. Thomas Mensah, man who played a pioneering role in bringing about the revolution of the internet. He's a chemical engineer. He's a member of the American Institute of Chemical Engineers. He has 7 patents in 6 years to his name alone. This is an institution. In fact, somebody said his brain can sink a ship. Doc.
Hi, Malik.
You want to see a changed Ghana.
Yes.
And your focal point is transportation.
Yes.
How does that transportation tie into the government's transformational agenda?
Yeah, first of all, as I said earlier, the leader of the government, now that says Ghana beyond 8.
Is that not just a mantra? Because we have heard this before.
No,
we have Better Ghana agenda under President Mills. President Mills and John Mahama. Under the Kufuor, we had positive change, part 1 and 2. But
this is different because Nana is surrounding himself with top experts.
Is he?
Yes.
Apart from
people
you,
like
who
me,
else?
For example, that say to get there on the moving Ghana beyond 8, we got to do A, B, C, D.
Is he listening?
Oh yeah, he's listening. In UK, he was talking about infrastructure and rail.
But that's just talk.
Yeah, that's talk. But then, you know, when I first came, say, all right, he talked to the ministers, and I'm talking to all of them. Technically speaking, every ministry should have one action item moving Ghana beyond 8.
Why did you decide to come to Ghana last year?
Well, I decided
after a very long time.
Yeah, for 2 reasons. One, I was invited by Kwame Nkrumah University.
Okay.
So come and give the RP Balfour lectures.
Yes.
So when I came and saw what's going on in Ghana, I said, oh, hey, wait a minute. These lectures I'm going to give, it's not on nanotechnology or some. I'll give it on things that can influence policy in Ghana. So I gave it on 21st century transportation, power generation. I gave it things that can help Ghanaians. So they invited me. And so when I came and I saw what's going on in Ghana, I said, well, we better put our shoulders to the wheel and help the country move forward. And I'm committed to this because I wouldn't be doing this or be on your show or get involved in this if I didn't think it was very, very important. Because Ghana cannot afford to stay in the same place in the next 5 years. We got to have this infrastructure. You cannot have a single lane road moving people from Accra all the way to Tamale, 10 hours or 12 hours, think you're going to get developed. And people are not going to invest here. They are investing in Kenya. They are investing in Morocco. They are investing in Ethiopia. The top 10 countries, the top 10 in West Africa, include the 3 that have high-speed rail. Morocco is leading. And so when I see, Wall Street Journal, not me, when I see things like that, We want to be in the top 10. I say, hey, we are not going to just play around with slogan, and we're going to really do the work. And that's why I'm on it. I'll be here. If things go the way I'll be here every single month.
So we need to build 4,007.6 kilometers across the country. That's the rail tracks that we need to build. How much are we building for a start?
Yeah, right now I just want only the, for me, I just want only the 700 kilometer first. You got to have something. So when people see that, just like the Kenyans have now, and they are enjoying it, they sit in the train on their Wi-Fi, they see that, and then money's coming in, investors are coming in. That's a start. Then the rest will come into places. See, one idea I have for Joe Gatti, he and I have been talking about this. We're building the train, we're bringing the rail networks, we're going to assemble locomotives in Ghana, create more jobs. We will assemble locomotives over there in the Western region. When you assemble locomotives, that's advanced technology. You know, training the average person to cut metal and put a locomotive, the engine together, and then maybe the rolling stock that you can sell to other countries. See that? So we have a plan that's going to bring jobs to Ghana. The first priority in Ghana is to create jobs. That's number one priority. If you don't create jobs and people don't see that they are getting jobs, then it becomes problematic.
And your first line is Kumasi, Chebi, Tema.
Yes.
Why is that?
No, that's just the eastern line.
Okay.
That's just the eastern line. It actually goes through Bonkra to Tamale. We'll have 7 stations along the way. Chebi, we emphasize Chebi because that's where the bauxite is.
Okay.
Yes, they mine the bauxite, we got to put it on and it gets to the port.
Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia again went to China,
yes,
came back and said the government was entering into some arrangements with the Chinese that will bring about $17 billion and they will take a certain portion of the bauxite. Yeah. Is that the calculation? Are we relying on that, or this is an entirely different arrangement that we are
basically
making?
We can make it part of this, you know, because everybody agrees that, hey, we borrow money, big bucks, at least we have infrastructure to support it in place. You know, not just borrow the money and just bauxite alone, but at least we have the infrastructure, the train, you know, that will take the train to the airport and let people also enjoy. This will reduce traffic in Accra. So this is very, very important to Ghana.
Do we know how much traffic?
Yes.
And all of these there's odious amount of time that people spend sitting in a car to travel to Tamale, Bolga, Wa, Boku, Paga, Ho, Takrady, all of these long distances that people spend hours. Do we have a figure on how much that costs us and what rail will do in cutting down that cost?
It costs us in the billions, just like in the US. It costs us in the billions. Time wasted, not being productive, sitting down, pollution, because when you are sitting in traffic, the pollution is, you know. So the calculation and what you gain from that. Once we do this, you will see trams come to Accra. You know, trams are the little trains that move people. You see trams come to Accra.
I've seen some in Bonn, in Germany.
Exactly. You see trams, you see even underground. All this will come. But you got to do the first thing first. Once you do that, trams will come here, and productivity will just shoot through the roof.
We know that there have been 592 deaths in 3 months through accidents. When you think about what rail can do, and you see figures such as this, last weekend alone, about 22 people died in the northern region through road accidents. And we are not calculating how many hours they would have sat in a bus and how many buses would have moved from Accra and Kumasi going all the way to Boku and to Paga.
Malik, I agree with you 100%. Okay? The high-speed rail would eliminate all these unnecessary accidents. I'll give you an example. I spoke at University of Cape Coast. Just before I spoke at Adesara, I got to put my...
that's understandable.
Yeah, before I spoke at Adisco. And going in, and believe me, the highway from Accra to Takoradi, Cape Coast, that's better than the highway from here to Kumasi and, Yeah. I asked that question. It's because you have two different contractors doing the work. And even on that nice highway, one of our drivers, he wanted, if he sees an opening way up there, he wanted to kind of bypass cars.
That's overtaking. That's what we call overtaking.
That's what causes these accidents. At night, it's going to be worse because you don't see properly. And so hopefully with this high-speed train, you just get on a train, somebody's driving you, and then we'll move people from the highways and then have more time to build the highways in a better way. Right now, the trucks, because of the roads, the way we have it, they are damaging the roads. So you get a high-speed train here, one problem solved.
When that raised questions about all of these private businesses that have bought buses and spent huge sums of money to buy buses to travel these long journeys.
Yes.
When you come and put the rail there, what happens to their business?
No. They will still have business, number one. All I'm preventing is for their buses and their trucks to tear the roads. Once you tear the roads up, you got to drive on it because it takes time to come and rebuild it. So, the condition under which they are driving, I'm just trying to save that condition. There will be even more you will call it more efficient. They have better roads, better roads than they are having now. You can have maybe, see, one of the reasons why when I went to South Africa, they have 4-lane highways. 4-lane highways. Going from Pretoria to this to that, they have trains too. So that infrastructure is critical. Not only just to move your goods faster, but it creates growth in the country. It makes things possible. Ghana's industrialization starts with a high-speed rail. If we do it, we'll be industrialized, just like that.
Are there any local companies amongst the companies that are bidding for these contracts?
Yeah.
Are there any local companies amongst them? There are local consultants.
Yeah.
Do they have the capacity?
Yeah, because they are teaming with other groups. And as I said, my involvement, I'll make sure the Ghanaian companies, and I think the Vice President agrees, and the Finance Minister agrees, local companies get subcontracts. When I mean sub, you cannot get something you're not qualified, but at least subcontract will go to Ghanaians.
So clarify for me, are you an employee of the government, or you are an independent consultant, or you are just a Ghanaian who is helping the government?
Well, I'm not an employee of the government. I'm not. Every money I've spent here, I've spent from my own pocket.
Oh.
Yes. Everything I've done. The high speed, what do you call it, Silicon Valley, and everything I'm doing. I'm not an employee of the government. But I believe...
Is the government making the resources available for you to achieve the objectives that you want to achieve?
Yeah, I think the rail is going well. So they've opened the door with me to deal with the right people and all that. So that's going very well, okay? And I think it's worth my time, it's worth my resources. I could just say, hey, let me concentrate on these other South Africa. They are ahead of Ghana. The GDP of Johannesburg area, the GDP is 10 times that of Africa. 10 times.
Why is that?
Because they are doing the things I'm talking about.
Why have we not done those things?
The premier of Houghton, David Makura, saw me in New York. He said, hey, Doc, I've been to Silicon Valley, I've been in Malaysia. You are the guy we need. Invited me, because he's been and seen all this. I went there, he kept me for 7 days. So right now, as I said, the atmosphere is right. Nana is serious about this. We're just going to help him and the government reach where they should be.
Why do you think we haven't done this all this while?
Well, for several reasons. Number one.
And those reasons no longer obtain.
Yeah, number one, I wouldn't say I would have come to Ghana 7 years ago or whatever. I would say I would have done that, because, you got to have people that you can relate to, people that are serious, that want to listen to you. I wouldn't have come to Ghana in those years. Right now, you have a group that's listening. They are listening. They want the expertise. Dr. Bawumia went to Silicon Valley. You took all these companies over there to help
about
them.
15 companies.
Yeah, you took all of them. That's he's serious about.
How beneficial is that, to take 15 IT companies from Ghana and take them to the United States?
At least that's the first step. He's learning. You don't want a VP who's not learning. He's learning. He took them there. He goes over there and say, hey, how can I help these companies? That's fine. I'm already there. Some of my companies are based there. But it's nice for him to take these companies from Ghana, the ICT companies, go there, expose them, try to help them. There's nothing wrong with that. That's no, first thing I say, we're going to put technology around the government and all that. That's the first step.
What is nanotechnology?
Well, I'm one of the experts in the world. My fourth book is commercialization of nanotechnology.
Because, yes, that's what you are.
Yes, that's one of my areas. Nanotechnology is going to be revolutionary. Just like fiber optics was probably one of the most important innovations in this century. And I was one of the 4 people that made it happen. Look at what fiber has done for the internet. Everybody's using it. Bill Gates wanted computers on every desk. I wanted, in my vision, I wanted everybody to have access to the internet. And now 1 billion people have access to the internet.
1 billion.
Based on the work that I've. But nanotechnology is the whole new frontier. We are going to have batteries, cell phone batteries. You charge it once, it will last 3 or 4 days. You know how every night you charge it?
Yeah.
And your laptop, nanotechnology will change that.
How?
How? Because the batteries that are coming off nanotechnology, that's the way they operate. And I'm setting those factories up in South Africa. I want South Africa to be the... Why?
What is unique about South Africa?
They invited me. Paid for my trip, paid for everything, invited me. They value what I have to offer. And that's why I'm putting nanotechnology there. Doesn't mean that Ghana cannot do that, but I want Ghana to do the basic things first. All right? They have universities there that are working in nanotechnology. They call me, oh, you want to be, you want to help us? I said, all right, we're going to make nanotechnology batteries for airplanes, nanotechnology batteries for cars, nanotechnology batteries for cell phones. We're going to do it over there.
Do they have any particular, apart from the fact that they have developed systems, do they have any particular resource material which makes the siting of this company there beneficial?
Well, first of all, the skill set is there. Your universities are doing research in this field. I spent 3 hours with CSIR in South Africa. Council for Scientific
and Industrial Research.
Yeah. They have $300 million research budget. That's a lot of money just for research. And I want to see, once you have somebody and say, he who have more is given, once you have, I can build on that. So I want to use their invitation of me to make sure that they are in aerospace, they are in defense, they are in mining. My smartwatch, they're going to use it in the mines. Somebody gets stuck over there, you just do this, and then something is wrong, it comes up. So I'm going to use my brain power to help them. My goal is to help as many African countries as possible.
Have you gone to the CSIR in Ghana?
Yeah, I know what's happening there.
You must be depressed by what is happening.
Exactly. There. These guys have $200 million on research. So I'm helping them. I want them, they are 10% GDP. I want to help them to do it even to raise it higher. But the things I've started in Ghana is going to impact the CSIR For example, if they have lathe, for example, that cut metal, they can help, if you will, in the train. They can help in the air maintenance facility. You know, so what we are bringing is going to help the whole country.
Doc, you spoke eloquently about the capacity of our universities and the competence that the lecturers and the students have. What about our basic level? Because there have been concerns about the quality of education, especially at the public school level, at the basic level.
Oh, I know. And one of the components of the Silicon Valley of Ghana will be for the members, whether University of Ghana or Kwame Nkrumah University or University in Tamale or Cape Coast, they will reach out to the schools to promote STEM education. You know, I've done it in 15 different cities in the U.S. I'm so busy, I don't have time to do that. You know, I may come
and STEM, you're talking about science, technology, mathematics, and education.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that's what you need to be part of the so-called Industrial Revolution 4.0. If you want to do software, you're going to need it. You want to build drones, you're going to need it. You'll be part of what we are doing in the train, you're going to need your STEM. You know, so I want people, some of our people, to just go to the schools and encourage it. You know, the students get into it.
How is the little boy in a school in Joje, in the Volta region, or in Bumkrugu in the northern region, or somewhere in the central region? How does that become a Dr. Thomas Mensah?
Well, I met a group today. They said, oh, we are in the U.S. and we are talking to the schools in Ghana. And then anytime we finish talking, they mention you. So at least a little kid say, hey, let me Google this guy. Let me see how I can get to where he is. You know, I didn't have all those, you know, when I was at this school, I was just like any kid, you know. But then I saw Neil Armstrong land on the moon in a black and white TV. At 13 years old, I said, I'm going to be an astronaut or build machines that go to space. And now I'm building machines that go to space. You know, so it's just capturing capturing the imagination. At that level, when you're 13 years old, you capture that imagination, you push them in STEM. You know, I was playing saxophone, I dropped all of that, started to focus on science, you know. And then with the disco can do spirit. You know, I said, hey.
And I was expecting you to say that.
Yeah, because vel primus, vel cum primus means either the first or with the first. So everywhere I am, whether in the 4 books that I've written or whether it's in nanotechnology, either the first or with the first. And I think all the kids should have that model, all the kids. They can, you know, Ghana can do it. All we need is a little push, a little bit, opening our eyes a little bit. See, Kenya can do this, I can do it too, you know. And if you do, these kids, if they read my book, the right stuff comes in black too. They read that book, say, oh, wait a minute. He says the right stuff comes in black. I am black, so I am the right stuff. With that mentality, they're going to get everywhere. And guess what? The internet is an equalizer. And that's why we are pushing hard to push the internet, you know, all over. In the school you mentioned, you know, for example, one of the people I put on the board at Silicon Valley of Ghana works at Microsoft. He is the guy that pushed to get the new computer lab for that little school over there where the teacher didn't have anything.
Drawing,
drawing on the board. Yeah, my guy pushed to get it. So hopefully we'll be having things like that, even including the schools you mentioned.
Dr. Thomas Mensah, it's been an honor having you. I pray that 3 years from now, by 2020, 2021, we should be here on this platform, having a conversation about Ghana's speed rail. Until then, thank you very much. Our guest has been Dr. Thomas Mensah. We have been talking speed rail and Ghana's agenda to digitize the economy as part of processes to build a Ghana beyond aid. My name is Malik Abbas Dabo and have been sitting in for Raymond Akwa. This has been Upfront. Bye-bye.